Do we remember when January was kind of a quieter time of the year, release-wise? Well, not this year. A lot of interesting products have come out. Some I really like, some not so much. So, if going through January releases, January 2026 releases sounds good to you, looking at some favorites and some fails and some that are just kind of in between, then I really would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, follow along, shop my links, all that good stuff. Let's get going. January. Okay, so to start with January, I'm going to start with some like face products that are more like prep for your face, moisturizer, skincare, things like that. And I have tried a few products this year in this early part of the year that I've actually been able to test for a little while now. And so I can give you kind of my honest opinion. The first one is this one from Laneige. It's the Water Bank Aqua Facial. It's essentially just something that kind of gives you a nice glassy skin effect. It comes in this container that looks like a syringe, if you will, but it's just kind of a gel that you can push out from the top. And if you're doing a no makeup day, it's really nice. It gives some hydration, but it also has just a beautiful finish. It's very glass-like. I think you can see that there, even with the shadows. So it's a beautiful product for hydration, and God knows this time of year, we need that. Another product that I tried that I've really enjoyed so far is the new Tatcha Longevity Memory Cream. This is a product that you can put on at night and it helps with your skin barrier. But the thing that's really interesting about this, because I have a number of these Tatcha skincare products, is the consistency. So this one is really kind of freaky. It is refillable, but it has this putty consistency. I don't know if you can see that in there. See how it's not coming out at all? And it almost holds its shape. There's the washer and dryer, so you know I'm filming today. But it's got this like pudding consistency. But of course, when you put it on your face and warm it up, it moves some. And I've noticed that it's a really nice moisturizer at night. I liked putting it on as a mask and leaving it on at night, and found that my skin does feel nice in the morning. Now, another one that I tried that is also really nice hydration, but I find this one to be a little bit fussy, is the new Fenty Beauty, what is it called? Dew and Plump Intense Hydration Slushy Mask. This is an interesting product. It comes with this little paddle thing, and you go in, and it's an interesting consistency. I keep saying interesting because I guess that's the thing for this January, is we have these consistencies. It really is like a slushy, and then when you put it on your face, it kind of bubbles a little bit. The thing is that you put this on at night as the last step of your skincare routine, and then you can go to bed like a mask. And it does provide beautiful hydration. I've noticed my skin in the morning looks really glowy and pretty. The thing I don't like about that product, and so the reason why it's not a favorite, but it's not a fail either, is that it's sticky. And I'm somebody who sleeps on my stomach some, so when I'm laying down, it'll stick to the pillowcase, and I don't like that. It has an interesting texture. It kind of bubbles when you put it on, and it is a hydrating mask. It feels nice, but I think if you're going to do it, put it on about an hour before you go to bed and let it seep in some. Okay, so the next products I have are two, to me, new primers. The first one is a really affordable primer from like Walmart or Target, but I've really enjoyed it when I'm having days where my pores are extra big, and it's the Hard Candy Smooth Unlock Primer. It evens textures, it smooths lines. There's no real hydration on here. It's an oil-free product, but it does do a nice job of filling in some of those pores and those spots, especially when they get larger. The one that I have really enjoyed, though, when I want something glowy, is the Grip Trip from Fenty Beauty. This one is a hydrating and plumping primer. They have another one that would probably be similar in consistency to this one that's more meant for fine lines and filling in pores. But if I'm using a more matte foundation, then I have really enjoyed this Fenty primer. I've had Fenty primers in the past, and these are far better. Okay, so let's go on to more traditional makeup products. This is not new, but it's new to me, and I've really enjoyed it. And it's from Make Beauty, and it is their Infinite Hold Sculpting Brow Tint. I have mine in Cool Brown and what's the other one? Cool Taupe. I really like these when it's quick and easy to just add some color and a little bit of hold. I wouldn't say they add a dramatic amount of hold, but they do add a nice amount of color and can even out the brows. And when you're filming like this and you don't want to take the time to go in with like my favorites, which are like the Benefit or the Victoria Beckham pencils, and be very particular, but you just want to get some color and some hold on there quickly, I've really enjoyed these. And speaking of Make Beauty, if you haven't tried their concealer and their skin tint, those are also lovely products. I would say that you need to set with a very light powder, the concealer, but the skin tint is quite nice. And they're a more affordable kind of brand, an indie brand. But if you haven't tried out Make Beauty, I would recommend them. They also have some really beautiful eyeshadow singles. So it's definitely worth trying. Okay, so let's go into some foundations and concealers. And we've had a good amount of foundations and concealers already in January, which is interesting. The first, from a foundation standpoint, Ultra Le Tint from Chanel reformulated, and they came out, of course, with their Ultra Le Tint concealer. This is a beautiful, beautiful concealer. I will say that it's not as hydrating as like the Chanel Sublimage, but it's also so much more convenient because that one comes in the little tub and it's so pricey. This one's more reasonable, easy, and I find that this one self-sets. I really like the concealer. The foundation, on the other hand, I like. It's long-lasting and it has a nice, beautiful finish, but it is matte. So for me, I need to use a very glowy primer. And I also need to use, like, what's that one size, like Foundation Glow or that Foundation Thinner product. Because for me, I like a little bit of glow in my foundation. But the combination is a very long-lasting, perfecting combination. And I think at the end of the year, this is probably still going to remain the concealer new release of the year. I know this came out in the fall overseas, but it came out in January in the United States, and it is a beautiful concealer. And one thing, again, that I really like about it is it seems to self-set. It doesn't move. It provides a beautiful amount of coverage, and it doesn't get in fine lines. So I really like the concealer, and I do think it, even in January, is definitely going to be on the list of concealers of 2026. It's still weird to say 2026, isn't it? Okay. Other new products that have come out. This one came out towards the end of last year, but I tried it this year, and it's the About Face Illusionist Concealer. This is a very nice concealer. It's much like the About Face foundation, which I really like. The About Face foundation is thin and it's got a nice amount of coverage. It's affordable. It reminds me a little bit of like the Pat McGrath as far as that thinness to it. A really beautiful foundation that's a reasonable price. It's not a perfect foundation, but it's a very lovely foundation. And the concealer, I feel, is the same way. These are both available at Ulta. They're reasonably priced. And of course, they always have those coupons. If you haven't checked out the About Face Performer foundation and now this Illusionist concealer. I think you'd really like them. And I actually have another About Face product on the list today that I tried. And this is such a nice, again, kind of medium priced product that performs much better than its price would have you believe. Finally, for new concealers, the Prada concealer came out, and this I have in LN3, but this is beautiful. It is reminiscent of course, the Prada foundation, which is one of my favorite perfecting foundations. It has more of a natural finish, and I would say that this concealer has a little bit more of a matte finish. It doesn't have as much hydration, I don't think, as the Chanel one. And so that's what takes this from, like, that one's an A minus, really. This would be like a B plus, but it's still a beautiful product, and it works beautifully with the foundation. And Prada has really, knocked it out of the park for the past 2 years they've been around. They've really put a lot of time and effort into their products. And I know they have some glosses coming out, which will be really cool. The packaging, the component, of course, is beautiful. It mimics the foundation component. Of course, the foundation is refillable. This is not, because it's so small, but it's still a beautiful concealer. And I think if you're a fan of the Prada foundation, then you would like the Prada concealer. Okay. Eyeshadows. There haven't been a ton that came out in January, but late December into January, there were a few. The first one is the Natasha Denona. This is the Eye Sculpt Cool Tone. So last year at this time, the Eye Sculpt Regular Tone came out, and it's a very easy to work with palette, great for travel. It gives you everything you need to make a beautiful matte look. But where I like to use this is with singles and liquid shadows. They pair really beautiful. I don't think you need both of them. So it really just depends if you like a cool tone or you like more of a warm tone. I like the cool tone, so I'd probably just get this one if I was doing it again. But I really do like these. I actually like them a lot better than her big 18 pan 2 sets that she came out with. I thought that was overkill on the natural sculpting eye looks. But these are really great for travel, and they give me everything I need mixed with a favorite liquid or single eyeshadow to create a really beautiful look. Speaking of single eyeshadows, one that I picked up, and I don't really have a ton from this brand, but I do like what I do have, and it's from Makeup Forever, and they came out with their new Artistry Cream Shadows, and most of them are black, white, primary colors, because these are thick and they make great liners. But one they came out with, which I thought was really interesting, was this one called Beetle Chrome. Is it Beetle Chrome? Yeah, Beetle Chrome. And it's that classic duochrome that goes from teal to gold to red. Reminiscent of kind of like the duochrome that's in the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm palette. It's kind of reminiscent of that, but it's really beautiful, and I'll show you. It's quite thick, so it makes a beautiful liner as well, but you can see there that it has a beautiful molten effect, and I'll show you on my hand here. It is a beautiful product. So in the demo that I'll show you, I've paired this with the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude Cool mini palette, and I really did like the effect. And you get a good amount of product here. Let's see, this is 4 grams, so that's a good amount of product for something like this, and it's pretty reasonably priced. My best friend picked up some of the more solid colored ones, like they have a white and a black, And these would really be good to put down as a base too, if you wanted to do them as like an eyeshadow primer, because these don't really budge. And you can see even on my hand here, they don't budge a ton. It's hard. Once they set, they're set. So you want to be careful, and that's why you want to work in small areas, and or consider using them, like I said, as a liner, because you're really going to like the fact that they do set very quickly. One thing I will say about them is when I was picking them up at Sephora, or I was picking this up, she said, this is beautiful. She hopes they have more multi-chromes. And she said, do you have an oil-based cleanser? And I said, well, yeah, I do, because of, you know, this. And she's like, you definitely want to have an oil-based cleanser, because once these get on, they don't come off. So that's going to be a personal preference thing with you. If you like that kind of product, but for something different, and particularly for a liner or a really graphic look, I like these. The next palette that I have on my eyes today, and I did just a really beautiful taupey kind of look with just a tiny bit of blue, is the ABH Haze palette. Now this came out in November, December, and it was a TikTok shop release, but now it has finally released with ABH. And I wasn't a huge fan of the Embers palette last fall, but I really do like this one. And the reason I like it is because the Embers palette was pretty much all satins and mattes. This one has mattes, satins, multi-chromes, toppers, glittery toppers, a little pinch of blue down here. This multi-chrome is really beautiful. If I can show you, it's that vermilion to blue that's very popular. And this kind of reminds me of a mini version of the Makeup by Mario Moonlight palette, but this really separates it and makes it special. You got stuff falling? But it's also really easy to travel with. I think these ABH 9 pans, even though I wasn't a huge fan of Embers, I still acknowledge that the quality is beautiful, and they're so easy to travel with that I hope they continue to come out with those. Although I do kind of miss those longer ones like Nouveau and Fall Romance and Cosmos. Those were so beautiful. But they're not skimping on the formula here, because it's a beautiful formula nonetheless. Okay, eyeliner. I only tried one new eyeliner. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I tried 2 new eyeliners, and so I will bring them out. One's part of a set, so I keep forgetting it. The first one I tried is the Fenty Beauty Fine Lines. This has been around forever. It's a really beautiful, it's got the smudger on one side and then a very detailed liner on the other to make graphic lines. It's just that I picked this up in the color Riri, and it's a new color. It's a staple color in the Fenty line. She has it in liner, she has it in blushes, she has it in lipsticks. But to have it in eyeliner is really interesting. And the thing that's really nice is you don't see a lot of these like rosy colored eyeliners. You either see like pink, which can make you look sick, or like a dark red or burgundy. But this kind of rosy color, it is nice to have. And so I'm glad that they've done that as an eyeliner. Speaking of eyeliners, as part of the Chanel, the Rouge Noir collection, which has been so popular. They came out with the Chanel Rouge Noir long-lasting Stilo eyeliner. This is the one that has the tiny little point. The one thing I will say about this is that, and you can see it's much darker than, say, that Riri one, but it is a little bit tougher than a traditional, like a Victoria Beckham liner. This one will drag a little if you're not careful, because it is a drier formula, but I really like it. The one thing I will say is I was watching Alicia Archer, and she was showing the palette, which we'll get to in a minute, and I felt with the palette too that I wanted something deeper, like on the outer corner, to really darken it up. And she was showing that they have Rouge Noir in their eyeshadow stick. And so I ordered this, and this has been existing for a while, much like the nail polish. It's just to re-promote. This is the Stilo Ombre Contour Eyeshadow Pencil, but this is the thicker one. It's like the eyeshadow stick. But the one thing I will say is it's a little weird because it is nice to deepen up. It's a different color. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a much deeper, more cool tone color than the matching pencil. I'm not sure why they did that. I wish that they were both one or the other, but these blend out very nicely, and so it's a great way to deepen up the palette, which we'll look at in a second. I just don't know why they did this in kind of a blacky purple, and this is more of a burgundy, and they are both, I checked, they have the same number, the same name. They're both listed as Rouge Noir, but they're different colors. Average person probably wouldn't notice that, but I've noticed it. Okay, other eyeshadow that came out, well, the new YSL Sparkling Lust Valentine's Day quad released. I've had this for a while, but it released in the United States, and it is beautiful, and it works well with something like that Rouge Noir pencil. I have found that I have to use like the Natasha Denona taupe eyeliner pencil works really well with this. That dark blacky purple works really well because there is no depth in this palette. So if you want like a really ethereal pink Valentine's look, this is beautiful. But if you're wanting some depth, you're going to have to add in one of those pencils to get it. It's not as versatile as some other YSL palettes, but if you haven't noticed, the holiday palettes, the Valentine's palettes, the special edition palettes tend to be more like this so that they can work as a gift. And this one is really beautiful. It's just, for me, I need a little more depth, and these two colors are very similar to each other. But it is beautiful if you match it with an eyeliner. And YSL has a lot of new palettes coming. They have 6 new palettes coming besides this one that I know of so far. And some of them are more light and ethereal like this, and some of them are bolder than any YSL palettes that I have in my collection. And I have them, I think I have them all. And they also have a new format coming this year, which is a 9-pan eyeshadow palette. That should be coming in late spring. So I'm excited to show that one to you. I have that. And I have the other really cool YSL palettes that are coming for spring and summer. So I can't wait to share those with you. Finally, we're going to bridge from eyeshadow to blush. And I will just say that the Chanel Rouge Noir Confidence palette, not only is the packaging beautiful with this blacky red deep color, but this is a beautiful blush and eyeshadow palette. I just find that I do need something like this to darken it up because you're not going to get a ton of depth otherwise. But they're beautiful blush colors. I really like this color. It's kind of a goldy red, and this is a beautiful highlighter. It also works nice on the eyes. Really lovely palette, and I think it's been a huge seller for them. The one thing I will say is I have had 2 people now message me in comments that bought this. I'm so appreciative. Please, use my links. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps out the channel. But there are some people who have allergic reactions to reddish colored eyeshadows. And so you want to be careful with these. If you have an allergic reaction to reddish colored eyeshadows, then you want to avoid those and just use that on the cheek area. But if you don't, I think you'll be happy and you'll get a nice, beautiful look out of it. Speaking of blush, I have another one that I tried today, and it's okay. It's I wouldn't call it a fail, but it's more on the fail line than it is on the favorite. And this is one I've never tried before, the blush, and it's the KJH brand Lip and Cheek Stick. And it might work really well for lip. I haven't tried it for lip. For blush, it was a little hard to blend out, but it's in this kind of berry color here, very pretty. And I'll show you, it has a highlighter that goes with it too. But I find even on my hand, you can see it's not even. It's a little bit hard to get consistency on, and it's what I'm wearing today. And I'm even noticing here, there's certain areas that look a little bit darker than others. And so it's a nice product. I'm sure it would work better on the lips, actually. I haven't tried that. But these are, it's just, I think the color is going to be challenging. This is in the color, what's it called? Orchid? I'm not sure, honestly. And I can't read it because it's too small. Yeah. But anyway, it's the purple one. Came out this season, and it is beautiful. It's just, it can be challenging with these kind of colors to get consistency. Okay, other blushes. Well, we know the big blush release that came out in January, and I love them. And it is the Gucci Glow Dewy Blushes. The Gucci powder blushes are some of my all-time favorites. Those and the Valentino are my favorites. Well, these Gucci Glow blushes are so beautiful. The packaging is slightly different, but it's the same size. It's just the traditional luminous matte ones have stars, and this one has a sunburst. Otherwise, really beautiful. They have really unique colors. I really like this color Warm Peach a lot. I'll show you. It's got a goldy shift to it. They look much more intimidating in pan than they do on the cheek, and they blend out. They pretty much blend themselves out. I have a video where I demo all 6 shades, and they are 6 beautiful shades, so I would definitely check those out. They are a nice addition to the Gucci blush line, which, like I said, I think is fantastic. And Valentino has come out with a new line of blushes, and I've always really loved Valentino blushes, and I have those. I'm going to work on that video soon, and they'll be coming to the States soon too, and they are really beautiful too. So great additions to the Gucci line. That would be that, the Chanel concealer. Those would be the most fantastic of what I've showed you so far, you know, the most favorited. See how it's getting a little bit patchy here? That's a little tricky with those purpley colors. Okay, bronzers and contours. Well, KJH also came out with what they call, which I think this is really funny, it is the Stilo Precision Sculpture Contour Stick, and I have mine in the shade Chisel. I don't know if you've tried the Victoria Beckham contour sticks. This is clearly what this is trying to be, and it is beautiful, and it's certainly more affordable than the Victoria Beckham one. The one thing I would say is that it's not as blendable, and you have to work quite hard to get, well, maybe you can see here, I blended it with my finger, but see how you can still see the line? So it's a little bit tricky to blend this one. It's not as emollient as the Contour Stylist from Victoria Beckham, which I really like. However, it's an affordable alternative, and it would work nicely on like the nose for like contouring smaller areas. The Victoria Beckham one works really beautiful for that too. The big difference, of course, is the price. The Victoria Beckham ones are pretty expensive, and even with this one from KJH, you're getting a small amount of product because they're really meant to get into those finer areas. I'm gonna get all this red off my hand so that I can show you what we have left, because we have some beautiful things as we go through the face. Okay. For a bronzer, I was really surprised by this next one, and it would definitely go on our favorites. And it is from Dior, and it is their new bronzing stick. I really like the Dior contour stick. It's my second favorite to Westman Atelier, and I really like the Dior foundation stick. It's a nice alternative to the discontinued Tom Ford one, which I miss. This is a beautiful product. I thought when it first came out that it was going to be just kind of a cash grab and an extension of the contour colors, but it's really not. First of all, it's milder than the contour colors. I find that it has less pigmentation, which is nice. That's what you want in a bronzer, but it still has a good amount. But these are warmer and they really blend beautifully and evenly. Like, look at this with my finger. I can blend this, manipulate it, and it just gives a beautiful warmth, and it's a nice product, a nice extension to that line. Okay, highlighters. Okay, I've got 3 highlighters to showcase today. The first one is from Chanel, and it's their Balm Essential, and it's in the Rouge Noir collection, and this is in the shade Cute. It's a pink shade. Really beautiful. If you like these Balm Essentials, and I do, it's got a nice glassy finish, but it's not sticky like some of these products. The one thing I will say is if you have some of these, they're very similar in color. So even though they're slightly different colors, when you apply them, they pretty much all look the same. It's just that kind of glassy finish. It's just this one's got a little bit of a pink hue, but I don't think you could tell the difference between that and some of the other ones. But it is beautiful and it really pairs nicely with that Rouge Noir collection. Dior, as part of their candy collection. I'm not a Dior eyeshadow person. I've never had great luck with Dior eyeshadows. Their pigment is not consistent for me, but I do really like a lot of their base products. I already showed you the bronzer stick. Well, the other things that I really like are their highlighters. The first one is this Forever Glow Luminizer, and this is about the 15th one of these that they've come out with. This is in Sugar Icing. Abracadabra that came out for the holidays was kind of a pinky gold one. This one is kind of a pinky blue shift. I'll show you here. But it's a really pretty one, and unlike some of these, this one does not have any large particles. Some of these, particularly the lighter ones, typically have larger particles and glittery particles. This one's very smooth. However, the star of that collection is the new Dior highlighter, and this is in Sugarcane, the Glow Luminizer. And it is this pink to purpley duochromy highlighter. Really beautiful, unique shade. Almost, look how glassy that looks, and it's a powder. But I'm going to place it here. I don't know that it'll pick up, but it just has a really subtle blue to pink shift in it, sort of like a very subtle version of that eyeshadow. I can't remember the name of it. That's in the first Mothership, but the pink to blue shift, and this makes a really beautiful highlighter. Okay, then we have a liquid highlighter. And this is again from KJH brand, and I really like these in the other shades I have. I have a like a cream, and I have like a soft pink. And what it is it's a gel that you mix with like a paste, and you can create kind of a custom highlighter effect. This is part of that new collection that came out with that blush stick I showed you, and it's purple. And it's really interesting. You don't see a lot of purple like blushy toppers or highlighter toppers. And you can see there, it is interesting. The one thing is, again, because it's that purple, it can be a little bit inconsistent to blend out. And as a highlighter, it's more of a blush topper for me. I can't use that really as a highlighter. But I did put it on today, and you can see that it makes a really glassy finish. The more of the liquid you add to it, the glassier it'll be and the less pigmented it'll be. It's a beautiful product, and I really do like these. I just think maybe the purple is a little too deep. However, if you had a dark complexion, I think this would be really beautiful. Okay, mascara. I only tried one, and it's the Rouge Noir mascara from Chanel. Love the packaging. And it's that dark burgundy red color. Really like these. I do find that they tend to flake a little bit, and the common packaging is so beautiful. The common complaint that I get about these from you on Instagram is that they dry out quickly. They've come out with a number of these. This, of course, has the new packaging, that beautiful burnt red packaging. But they come out with, there was a blue one last year. There was that bluish gray one at the holidays, anthracite. But they do dry out quickly. What I have found is if you take one small drop of saline solution in like a metal drink stirrer and add it, it really extends the life and it makes them almost brand new. So if you start to feel like it's drying out a little, do one small drop, blend it in, and see if that helps. If you can add a second, but you don't want to overdo it because then you're going to make it too watery. But a small drop of a saline solution, perfect for the Chanel mascara. That takes us to lips. And I didn't try a ton. I did try the Chanel, again with this beautiful packaging. This is the Chanel Rouge Allure Velvet. And this is in Rouge Noir 387. Beautiful packaging. This beautiful deep dark color. I will say, and that is beautiful. The one thing I will notice about these is you want to hydrate, moisturize, exfoliate your lips. Because this is a matte and a deeper color, it's going to cling on everything. So make sure that you're moisturizing and that you that you are exfoliating your lips before you put it on. But it is beautiful and goes really well with that Rouge Noir collection. They also came out with a nail polish that was a re-promote, but the Rouge Noir collection is really beautiful. Gucci came out with 6 new lipsticks, and I really like the Gucci lipsticks. I only picked up one. This is in the shade Isabel Rosewood, and it's what I have on today. But it's a beautiful rosewoody kind of color. Really nice, not too cool, not too warm, just really beautiful. Works well with this cooler tone look here. But I really like the formula on these, and they're easy to work with, and you can sheer them out. They also have some new shades in their more sheer ones, but this is the only one I picked up, and I do really like it. Speaking of really liked, but on the bougier side, we have the new Tom Ford Reserve lipsticks, and these are gorgeous in the new packaging. These are part of that line of bougie lipsticks that come in the refillable packaging that's metal or glass like Chanel or Louis Vuitton. But these are really beautiful. I have 2 colors. This one is Rodeo Red. Really beautiful. And the other one I have is the Nude. Yeah, Design Nude. Beautiful nude. These are very beautiful, a nice satin finish. I will say they're expensive. They're not terrible as refills, but you have to make the investment on the case, much like with all those other ones I mentioned. If you like this, I think the fucking Fabulous ones are just as good. They're more shiny and they're just as good, really beautiful. These are lovely and I like having them. I'll probably try to get other colors because I like these refillable bougie lipsticks, but the fucking Fabulous ones are really beautiful and much better priced. Other lip product I tried, it came out in the fall, but I tried it during January, and it's the Tatcha the Kissu lip tint. I have mine in Plum Blossom, but it just gives a little bit of pigment. It's more of a skincare product, but you can see there is some, and it's tighter in the container. It's a balm. It reminds me a little bit of the Louis Vuitton balms, where they're a little bit tighter. They're not that waxy, loose like formula, like the Love Shines from YSL, which I do love. But these are really beautiful, give you a little bit of color. but it's more of a conditioner for your lips and really lovely, and it has an SPF in it too. And I think there are 3 colors of this. Powders. I said I had one more item from About Face, and it is the About Face Curtain Call Powder. I have mine in the shade Pink. Is it pink? It's the shade Finale. It's the pink one. But it is a beautiful fine powder. It reminds me a little bit of like the Danessa Myricks powder. I like that one more. The Danessa Myricks powder is a good dupe of the old Givenchy loose powder before they reformulated. But this About Face is also a good alternative, a good reasonable price. I'm really pleased for if someone was coming to me and they were looking for a reasonably priced brand that's on that side, the reasonably priced drugstore side of Ulta, I would say go for About Face. They have really beautiful products that are reasonable, and they really perform like very expensive products. Final makeup product I have is the new Fenty Beauty Setting Spray. This is in U Mist, and it is a makeup extending setting spray. I don't find that it's particularly glowy or matte. This is really an extending setting spray, so it's not so much a finishing spray as an extender, but I do like it. It has kind of an interesting smell. It's a little bit chemically, but I have found that it works really well. It's also good for like refreshing makeup during the day. One thing they recommend on their website, which I think is true, is to spray the puff and then press it in, and that really is going to extend your makeup. And I think you could do that, or you could spray it on lightly and press it in very gently. But that's a way of extending your makeup. I do like it. And setting sprays, you know, I'm kind of hit or miss with. I like the ones that either add a glass or a blurring effect, but for extending, this is a good one. Finally, a couple of new brushes came out from Rephr that I really like. The first one here, I don't know how much I'll actually use it. It's interesting. I just don't necessarily apply makeup like this, and it is the new spatula brush. It's to give you that glass skin effect and to put it on like a spatula. But I find that if you've got texture, you're still having to go in with like my trusty LCO3 and blend it in. But it's a nice way of getting product on. One they came out with that I really do love is the new 2609, and this is the collaboration. Is this the collaboration one? Just a really beautiful kind of smaller blush brush or highlighting brush. It's got the little fanned kind of feathers like the Shoto brushes have, and I really like it for application. It works really well with if you want a light coating on those Gucci highlighters. They're cream to powder, so they're a little more dense. So if you want a thicker one, you're going to want to use a thicker, more bristly brush that's got more density to pick up the product, because they are cream to powder, so they're tighter in the pan. Okay, that's a lot of products for January. I didn't think there was that much, but between Chanel and those Gucci blushes, a lot came out for January, late December. So I would say there's a couple of real favorites in there. Definitely the Chanel concealer, some of the Rouge Noir, the Dior bronzing stick, and the Dior highlighting products. Really love the extension on the Gucci lipsticks and the blushes, and of course those Tom Ford lipsticks are really spectacular, and Rephr always hits it out of the park with their brushes. And then some of the others that kind of are in the middle, most of them are in the middle. The only ones that I said were fails were really because of the color, and it's the KJH purple ones, which I knew would be unique. I just think they were a little bit difficult to blend out, but none of them are terrible. So I would say not a bad month, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming. I've already got some of it to share with you soon, so I'm excited to share that with you. If you like this kind of content and you find it informative, then I'd really appreciate it if you would like, follow along. Unsolicited Advice on YouTube and Instagram. Subscribe, share me with other people who might like these kind of videos so we can grow the channel. And of course, shop my links. It doesn't cost you anything, but really helps out. Unsolicited Advice on Instagram and YouTube. Happy January 2026. That's crazy. Okay, bye everybody.